Today's guest is a U.S. Air Force veteran, a communications specialist, and was most recently a combat drone pilot in Ukraine. Born in the Philippines and raised in a military family in California, he served in the Air Force before working with the Army Signal Corps and supporting JSOC through a special missions unit. Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Lito volunteered on the ground, initially delivering humanitarian aid across the country before applying his expertise to tactical communications with the International Legion of the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine. In his last assignment before his service ended, Lito was a team leader for a drone team in 3rd Regiment Ukrainian Special Operation Forces. A combat veteran of multiple wars, Lito now supports frontline efforts in Ukraine in a civilian capacity, applying capital investments in critical technologies, and sharing operational lessons learned with military units and leaders in the United States and around the world. Everybody, please welcome the legend, Lito Villanueva. Where'd you fly out of? Vegas?
I want to say Vegas or Tampa. It was like right after Soft Week. I was waiting. I was waiting for my passport to get renewed because it was like expired and I didn't even realize it because it was COVID. Like we were all just like locked down, and I was like, okay, at least this is something to do.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to Ukraine like kinetic capacity. I just thought like, hey, this is screwed up. Like this is completely messed up. I'm seeing like these tanks rolling in. What's happening? So I didn't get there until May, but I knew about it since February, and I was like prepping all my shit. Like I just treated it like another pre-deployment, like just individually did, PT on my own, like rewrote the will, like, hey mom, gonna go to Ukraine probably. And like, okay, cool, like write the will, last rites, etc. Like she was like super, like I was like, mom, I thought you would be like more, like it's pretty. And she was
maybe
like,
you'd trained her by this point. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. That was the point. She was like, well, you survived Afghanistan like 3 times. Like we're okay. Like she does not stressing anymore.
Sure.
And dad doesn't care. He's retired, right? Retired Navy. So he was like, yeah, just go do whatever you need to do. Yeah. So I had like family support already, and yeah, but by May, and some of my buddies who I trained with, they were just like, hey man, like I don't got any gear. Like you got anything? Like yeah, I got a plate carrier, I got these plates, and got a bow belt, So I got everything that I needed, and I came to Ukraine with like one roller bag, and like now, like I have a house full of shit in Ukraine. But yeah, it was just that. It was just to go to Ukraine to do NGO work, deliver humanitarian aid supplies from Ukraine across the lines, right? Because there's a conscription effect, so like a lot of men can't leave the country. Yeah. So we could travel with different passports. So we had that ability to just deliver humanitarian aid, and the Polish and the Ukrainians then were like very like accommodating. They're like, yeah, hey, there's a war, like stamp, see you later. Stamp, see you later. It was great. The first place I ended up, they're like, hey, well, thanks for helping, Lito. You got to take bread. You got to take bread, this food, and this clothing to Kharkiv. And I didn't know where Kharkiv is. And if you look at Ukraine on the map, Kharkiv is like right next to the Russian border. It's like 30 kilometers to the Russian border. Like it's there. And that's where it was like so connected. I was like, fuck it, I guess I'm going to Kharkiv. Like, I came to help, let's do it. So we get into a convoy of a bunch of vehicles coming in. There was like nine vehicles. We were just like linked up, and then we just start to drive. We make it to Kyiv, and the lines I just remember, pissing randomly on the side of the road because we just like needed to bio real quick, and then we end up in Kyiv like 5 a.m. in the morning, and the gas lines were just super long, and we're just like cutting in front of the line because we all had gas card, NGO, going to Kharkiv. So we like have 9 cars, just like this long line of gas, just like, excuse us. We get in, and we're like, who the hell are these guys? Yeah. And I'm a loud American talking to another loud American, and you can just like see, like on the Ukrainians' faces, like, oh, Americans are here. Like NATO's here. Like, yeah. Like they're like, go, it's fine. Go, Kava. Like, welcome to Ukraine. Like very accommodating. And I was like, yeah, this dude just thanked me for my service. So it was a great time. And so we get in the line. We all fill up, and then we make it to Kharkiv. It's another 6-hour drive to Kharkiv, and then like horizontal networks, right? Like we get there, we go to the assigned location, and they were like, yo, where do we go next? Some guy from SSO shows up, and he was like on his phone, it's like, okay, take this road, don't take that road, don't make that turn, take this road, because like they're shelling this area, like take it. And it was just like, the driver's like, okay, got it. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, you got it?
Yeah. He's going to go right?
Yeah,
it's
like,
go left?
you got it? Are you sure? Like, that's long.
Do I need to get the map quest
Yeah,
out?
that was a long movement, bro.
Yeah, can we get a printout
And so
here?
he's just like, yeah, got it. And then like the guy, the SSO is Ukrainian Special Operations Forces. The SSO guy was like, I'll lead you. so he just got in his truck and just joined the convoy and just let us in. And he's like, don't worry about it. And I talked to him later. And I was like, hey, man, like, what's up, dude? Like, I was in the military, da-da-da. And he's like, oh, okay. Were you this? Were you that? I'm like, yeah. And we just started talking. And he was like, and I was like asking him, I was like, hey, what do you need militaristically? Like, what can I get you?
Yeah.
And he's like, Javelin, M777. And I'm like, got it. You know?
Yeah.
Like, let me fucking,
let me
get
call
that for
Biden.
it.
I got that.
Yeah, hey, yo, Joe, hey, come here right now. No, so.
Javelin.
Yeah, it was so funny. I got cursed out. Like this. Anyway, it was hilarious. We go, we drop off some aid, and there was some shelling, so we moved, dropped off aid at a different location, and we essentially emptied out all of our vehicles. And I'm the guys are making like videos and stuff like that. We're just like offering like perimeter security, helping some people out. His grandma comes up to me. I remember this. Babusia comes out. And it was just like, thank you so much, in Ukrainian, right? Like, thank you. I thought you guys forgot about us. Like very emotional. The SSO guy I was talking to translated later. And yeah, it hit, like it tugged on the heartstrings, right? You're like, all right, let me help. I'll keep doing this. So for the next 6 weeks, I do the NGO stuff. And over that 6-week course, a bunch of guys like found out my background, like solved this comms issue. And some of the guys on that team of NGOs were like, hey, man, you got to talk to, like, this team. Like, a bunch of, like, ex-SOF guys. And, they're here now, like, operating in Kharkiv. And I was like, oh, I know Kharkiv. It's like, yeah, I know you know Kharkiv. Like, we're tracking Lito. We're tracking you where you are on the map. It was like, good on you for, going there. Like, I didn't want to go. So I was like, all right. So, like, you go and, like, interview, with them. And that's where I meet, like, Luke and Bam Bam and Jacko and Ola and like all the guys from the original crew. Team 13 is the name of that group. That was like one of the first teams of like International Legion underneath Defense Intelligence of Ukraine. So DIU or HUR or GUR. So the GUR boys, and I was like, hey man, like I'm coming back to Kharkiv actually to drop off like hand sanitizers for the hospital and like medical equipment there, IFACs, etc. I can meet you on this date. And they're like, cool, come in for an interview, like team interview. I'm like, okay, not my first time doing it. So they pick me up at a spot. We drive to a location, and it's like the building we were, oh man, I still remember this. The building we were staying in was previously rocketed already. Like, it's a 6-story, like, big concrete building. Because, again, it's, like, concrete. It's, like, thick, reinforced, rebar, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, just don't go up the last 2 floors. We stay in the first floor and the second floor. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, and, like, at this point, there's still, like, S-300s and, like, Iskanders, like, smashing Kharkiv. And even that day, we were just getting smashed. And, like, there's just cardboard and black tape everywhere, and like one fell down. I was like, hey, fix that. I'm like, all right, God. Anyways, I meet all the guys. It's like, hey, this is Billy. Hey, this is Larry. Hey, da-da-da-da-da. This is Marcus. He's the other Asian guy on the team. Like, you guys are gonna do like comms. I'm like, that's all right, whatever. That's racist.
Yeah, that's racist.
Like, let the Asians fucking deal with all the smart shit.
Grab the computer.
Yeah, grab it. Yeah, you got it, right? Like, codes and comms and I was like, yeah, okay. Anyways, it's true. Like, not because I'm Asian, though. Anyway.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Anyways, so I gotta tell the story of the interview. They're like, all right, Lito, why do you want to be on the team? And I was like, your comms are fucked, and all I want to do is sit at base, build your tactical operations center, your TOC, on fuck comms, and then play Xbox all day. And they were like, That's the best fucking answer we ever heard.
They're like, is PlayStation okay?
Yeah, it's like the best answer because everybody who was coming wanted to be a shooter. Everybody wanted to be an operator. Yeah, they want to pull a trigger. They want to go kill guys. Like, dude, we need back office guys. Like, we need. And I was like, that's all I want to do. I don't want to go out. Like, I'm fine doing the tech stuff. And dude, like, I'll bring a photo up later of what their comms room looked like and what happened after I came in. I've briefed this many times. I'm very proud of my work.
It's like one of those before and after IT pictures where like all the cords are going in the right direction and stuff.
Absolutely. All the radios are lined up, labeled. Yep. High and tight, dude. Got it. So, they were like, great, like, fantastic. And small little story. I meet Jacko for the first time. Like, he's sitting there too with a big old cuff, smiling, feet up, like, good day, mate. You know, UK, or excuse me, that was Australian. Yeah. But he's Brit. And I asked later, like, why is he smiling so much? He's like, oh, he just got his first kill. It was the first kill on the team. And I was like, nice. Hell yeah. Like, that's awesome. And then, like, I joined the team, and then we moved to a different place. And I actually talked to him afterwards. I was like, Jacko, what was it like, bro? And he was like, oh, mate, brilliant. 902 meters cold bore, hit him right in the hip. Dude fell over, follow-up shot, no issues. And I was like, nice. Like, what are you going to do now? He's like, I'm going to do it again to make sure the first one wasn't a fluke. And I was like, okay. And, you know, I'm with friends with Jacko now for like 3 years. Mm-hmm. And he goes, and I'm asking him, like, I'm going to put a little bit of his information out there. I was like, Jacko, what are you doing now? And he's like, oh, I'm going to pilot school, mate. And I was like, okay, cool. A couple years later, right? Like, still operating. He's like, well, Jacko, what are you up to? He's like, I got my trucking license, or I'm going to trucking school now. And I was like, I thought you were going to be a pilot. He's like, too expensive. And so I was like, why don't you just teach sniping? I was like, nah, don't want to do that. I was like, drones? He's like, that shit sucks. And so now he's like, hey, Jacko, what are you doing? And he's like, back to sniping. So like, he's just so bored with it now. He's just like, I'm sorry, dude. You're just so good at your job. Excuse me.
You're so good at your job that you hate doing it.
Yeah. It's just normal. Oh God, I actually dislike drones a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, but I'm pretty good at it. Anyways. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude. Okay. So.
Oh yeah. What happened?
No. You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. So you joined the team.
Oh yeah.
You start unfucking comms.
And we go out on a couple different recce jobs, but I didn't go out with the team. I just stayed again at the base or at the fob to just set up comms and like monitor movement, like people's movements on our Blue Force trackers that we had. So just to make sure everything was like good, there's somebody in the rear, somebody has the opfo, and make sure we can call QRF if anything goes wrong. Okay. I feel like if it was a lot longer time, but it must have been only like a week or two where they were like, bro, what the fuck do we do with these drones?
Is this like summer of 22?
This is summer of 22.
Okay.
Like we had a bunch of drones with us in our shop. We had Autels, Anafi Parrots, DJIs, and some other random things from a bunch of different forces that was given to us by command. And they were like, who the fuck knows how to fly these drones? Marcus knew, and I knew. So like, Lito, Marcus, like this is Bam Bam talk. Lito, Marcus, go figure out these drones. And what he meant by figure out these drones is how can we use this on a mission to go out during a reconnaissance patrol to set this up and do it safely. Because you know back in the day you just like do a recce like on the ground to do like forward observation or create an observation post and you sit there and then you like exfil or sit there for a couple of days. Well, the area that we were operating in was like a super dense forest, like in the north regions of Kharkiv. It's just all forest out there. And so the gray line was like huge. And Russian recce teams are coming this way. We're going past them. Mortar positions are flying over us. So we're like, we're deep in it. And I only go out on one mission with them, but going out on that mission with that team, at the time, for that recce, we had to invent new tactics, like new ways of doing businesses for the reconnaissance. So we invented the Drecki, or the drone reconnaissance.
Okay.
So, trademark Lito, right?
Yeah. Have you trademarked that?
No. But
Okay, got a good lawyer for you.
there you go. So we figured out how to make a Dreckie, and it was I won't get into the details, but obviously like you have your drone team and you have to like secure them and make sure that they're safe while we're flying. And there's a specific amount of time that you can only fly because we still didn't know what the Russians had in terms of like detection.
Yeah.
But we know what our detectors were. So we're like, okay, assuming in this area there's a detector like that, how far would you fly? How long would you fly for? And what do we need to do in order to make that repeatable and safe? So we conduct this even that same day a couple of times, and we exfil.
Is it successful?
Oh, successful.
Okay, cool.
So we exfil, we get back, we review the footage, we get a large big screen TV that I set up with the Xbox.
Nice, bro.
And we plug in the SD card, and we're like, "Do we see anything?" Like looking at the footage, maybe. And then boom, piece of metal, like reflecting off of the sun. And I was like, trees don't reflect, trees don't reflect light. Like that's that. And then we started shaping things out, and it was like camouflage, like a tire here, a sharp edge here, and it was like, okay, there was definitely something there.
Yep.
And then that was like, okay, this provides ISR. Like we can do this. And then at that point, it just evolved, and we started getting connected to other drone teams in Ukraine who were doing this. And we're exchanging intel, exchanging TTPs, exchanging ways to do business, figuring out how to do directional antennas, how to offset our signal, how to fly more optimally, like not always pinned to the throttle, like wasting battery, but just like cruising, chill, right? And I remember this guy, another tangent, his call sign was Alpinist, and he was sitting in his hide, and we roll up. We're all kitted out, and he's watching the screen. He has a one hand on the controls, just like watching this area, taking notes, drinking coffee, like eating a biscuit. And he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Whatever." And I was just like, "What a master!"
Yeah,
like just like I thought at this point, like I was already like reaching like
the pinnacle.
The pinnacle, dude. An alpinist,
obviously,
someone
because he's in the Alps,
dude. And he wasn't in the military before. He was a TDF guy, National Guard guy. So he was like, "Yeah, I just fly drones," and like I just learned so much from him in these engagements, and it just kept getting better and better and better.
What is so like early days?
Yeah,
right. That first summer.
Yeah.
Is that kind of when the drone stuff started to really take off?
I think it took off with the help of social media, especially when like that grenade like killed a tank with that open hatch.
Yep,
like it took off. Yeah, drone drop. Like so, we learned drone droppers. We had learned how to modify VOGs, like these 20 mics or 30 mics, kind of like underbarrel 203s.
Yep.
And
would you 3D print fins so you could like
3D printed fins,
just like ISIS?
Yep, just like ISIS. So yeah, we started getting into this like asymmetric thing, taking out multi-million-dollar assets with these cheap, 3D printed fins and plungers and stuff. So
yeah, and you don't have Javelin.
We ran out, and people were throwing away the clues as well for the cooling units, for the battery banks, because we didn't know that. And yeah, this horizontal lines of communication and cross collaboration just spread so fast, and the command structure doctrine was trying to like catch up with it, and they're still trying to catch up with it, right? Like in terms of the lessons learned, but that was like the start, like drone dropping.
Interesting.
With ISR. So quads, drone dropping, correcting for fire, like was summer 2022 until like summer 2023. Yeah.
Interesting. And are you seeing a lot of the DF on the other side pop up at this time, or is it still pretty uncontested?
It's still
from
pretty
an EMI and
people didn't even believe EMI was a thing. People didn't have spectrum analyzers. People didn't, so they called it diarrhea in the air. Like, hey, it's a bad diarrhea day. Like, don't fly. And they're like, what are you talking about? We didn't believe it. And yeah, it was just jamming was super bad. And so there was a lot of like drone pilots who were like, hey, sir, like, you have commands saying, hey, go fly here. And like, sir, we're not going to be able to fly. And you're like, why? It's like because the environment is so bad, there's so much jamming, and they didn't have the visualization. It's invisible. Like jamming is invisible, so you can't see it. You're just saying like, oh, this guy doesn't want to work. This guy's lazy. This guy is a coward. And like, sir, we can bring this drone up. We're gonna lose it, and we do lose it. Oh yeah, we also had like Black Hornets, and we lost that shit. Not even to EMI, just to the.
Oh my God, they're so expensive.
They're so expensive, and they get lost to the wind. Yeah. I remember. You're like, I'm not getting that. Like,
see you later.
See, dude, I'm not wasting my fucking time. There's mines everywhere. Like, I am not wasting my time on that.
40 years from now, someone will find that Black Hornet.
Oh, nice. Oh, from China, you know,
Yeah,
like
sick.
Jesus.
Okay, so it's pretty interesting. Now, like, let me ask maybe a society question about Ukraine. Right, a lot of Ukrainians I talk to, they say, in the first couple weeks of the war, they basically conscripted everyone to just like hold the fucking line. Okay. But then they started to figure out that, oh, we actually have a bunch of people who are electrical engineers, software engineers. How do we best use them? Is that a fair story for how like the military started leveraging that? Or is it you're playing with COTS technology and you just start sharing TTPs and stuff that works horizontally across everyone you're working with?
Okay, that's a great question. So
That's my only good question for
that's
today.
that's going to be one of many. That's a really good question. The first thing that happens is motivation was very high. Countries being invaded, nobody's dead yet, right? Like even Sun Tzu in his Art of War thing is like conscript once, and you want to conscript everybody. The politicians and some of the military leaders were like, don't conscript anybody. Like don't. And I was like, first mistake. Okay, that was a fatal mistake. So there's some things that need to be adjusted there. Not everybody gets conscripted because at this point there's mostly volunteers. So nobody's like handing out conscription tickets and like refusing them. At this point, if you get it, like great, I'm going to fight for my country. A lot of the guys, did it, same kind of motivations. I want to kill a Russian. I want to defend my country. I want to help medical. Like even the women of Ukraine were like, I want to at least be a medic. I want to be a sniper, drone pilot, something. So the motivation was incredibly high, and the enthusiasm was fantastic. You had little bits of people who were misplaced, but at that point they were just like, hey, do whatever, go where you fit, and it was a lot more freewheeling. Cowboy stuff is what we called it, right? Just got cowboys out there doing some raids and blah blah blah. So the Ukrainian military was really trying to get a handle. Trying to get a handle of all of these operations that were like making sense, to try to make some sense of this, like have everything reorganized, reshuffled, to, in theory, do combined arms maneuvers to be more effective and efficient in the fight. As it currently shows, we're not entirely sure, but it has defended against the continuous threat against the Russians invading. Like territory, the secession of territory has slowed. And again, we have to remind everybody that Russians can just go home at any time, and this war would be over. So let's remember that. However, more years of the war fighting, Zaluzhny leaves. Syrsky, as the Ukrainians call him, his call sign is the Butcher. Syrsky joins as the commander of the armed forces of Ukraine, and now massive amounts of Ukrainians get conscripted. You have people getting roped up, and now you're getting, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter if you're a journalist, like a CIMIC, an admin person like an S1, or an engineer, developer, cyber person, like you're going to the front lines. And it's like a huge waste of talent. But the metrics, whatever, objective, pragmatic metrics are being miscalculated because they're inefficient fighters. You just have people wasting time at the front line or running away on both sides of this too. But Syrsky is an example of Soviet trained mentality, which is get a big ball of human and metal and throw it against the enemy. Bigger ball wins. Yeah, bigger ball wins. And unfortunately, Russia has the bigger bowling ball. But so this like ego-driven approach doesn't work. Zaluzhny was different. He was a great man who was NATO trained and who understood the value of like proper placement of individuals. Like MOSs. And perseverance of life, but to balance out like territorial gains. We had talked about like how a lot of these places, and Drivka and Bakhmut, were very like symbolic cities of conquest, not necessarily offering any like strategic or tactical advantage, except like quote unquote grinding down the Russians. Like you can't grind down a country that has 100 million more people than you, unfortunately.
Totally.
So I'm not a grand military strategist, right? I'm not a general. I play a lot of Civilization, but and Total War and stuff like that. But I don't know, like it didn't make a lot of sense. But we can get into that like way later. I guess, bro, like our warfare is crazy.
How much, like, I'm sure you've read all those, like, books on warfare,
Yeah.
right? How do you think this war has evolved? You've been there for 3 years of it, right?
Yeah.
How is this warfare different from where it started? Thanks for tuning into the Drone Wars podcast. Don't forget to come back for the next part. If you liked what you heard today, please subscribe to catch all the latest insights for all things defense and geopolitics.